Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Wisdom Onyisi. First, the headline. Tinubu reshuffles cabinet, reassigns new portfolios to 10 ministers. Nearly half of Africa's population faces worsened governance, says report. Scientist says climate change has worsened deadly flooding in Africa. And on sport, NNL makes adjustments to draw for new season. Now the news in details. In a significant cabinet reshuffle on Wednesday, President Bola Tinubu approved the reassignment of 10 ministers to new portfolios, discharged 5 and nominated 7 new order for onward transmission to the Senate for confirmation. This came as the president renamed the Ministry of Nigeria Delta Development to Ministry of Regional Development, scrapped the Ministry of Sport Development, and merged the Ministries of Tourism and Art and Culture to become the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy. Wednesday's decision followed the 19th meeting of the Federal Executive Council at the State House, Abuja. The presidency revealed details of the reshuffle in a statement titled Statement on the Restructuring of Ministries and Ministerial Portfolios. The ministers who were relieved of their duties are the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, Tourism, Lola Adejon, Education, Tahi Maman, Youth Development, Jamila Bio Ibrahim, and State for Housing and Urban Development, Abdullahi Gwazo. Tinubu also reassigned new portfolios to 10 ministers on his cabinet. According to the presidency, the current Minister of State for Education, Yusuf Sununu, is now Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. The Minister of State for Health, Olatunji Alosal, is now Minister of Education. Minister of State for Water Resources and Sanitation, Bello Goroyo, is now Minister of State for Works, and the Minister of Niger Delta Development, Abubakar Momo, is now Minister of Regional Development, overseeing the activities of all the Regional Development Commission. Still on the local news, where we have you know that Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris on Wednesday approved a new minimum wage 75,000 naira for civil servants in the state. In a related development, Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno approved a new minimum wage package of 80,000 naira for public civil servants in the state. Following the announcement, the labor unions in the state applauded the governors for the approval. The Nigerian Labour Congress in Kebbi State commended the governor's approval following a 2-day marathon meeting between the state government and union leaders. The new wage, according to a statement after the meeting, will take effect immediately, with payment starting in October. The state NLC chairman, Murtala Osman, expressed satisfaction with the governor's approval, stressing that the move demonstrated a strong sense of solidarity with the workers in the state. We also have you know that the Federal Executive Council has approved a loan of about $618 million from a group of financiers from the procurement of 6 fighter aircraft and ammunition for the Nigerian Air Force. This was disclosed by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in Abuja on Wednesday, following the conclusion of the FEC meeting presided over by the President Bola Tinubu. Reports. Also on Wednesday, the FEC approved 740 billion naira for the Berger stretch of Abuja-Kano route, among other high-profile road projects. Now, when we return, news from other parts of West Africa. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of West Africa. The Finance Ministry has yet again been identified as the most fiscally reckless public institution in Ghana, covering the period from 2021 to 2023. This latest assessment follows a similar ranking the ministry had between 2015 and 2020. The finding is part of a new report released by Amanil Africa and Oxford, Ghana, which evaluated financial irregularities among ministries, departments, and agencies through the third edition of the Fiscal Recklessness Index. The report places the MOF at the top of the list, followed by the Ministries of Food and Agriculture, Communication and Digitalization, Roads and Highways, and Health. During a media briefing on the report's findings, Dennis Asare, Senior Research Associate of Imani Africa, reviewed that Ghana lost over 4.9 billion Ghana cedis in 2023 due to various financial irregularities. Away from that, governance has worsened in nearly half of Africa's countries over the past decade, according to a new report. The annual Ibrahim Index of African Governance reveals that security issues are undermining progress in many areas. While 33 countries have seen improvement, the overall situation in 21 others had declined, affecting almost half of Africa's population. Countries like Nigeria and Uganda have experienced a more significant drop in governance in the second half of the decade. In an interview with Ibrahim, he explained that poor governance, including corruption and marginalization, often fuels violence and conflict, as seen in recent coup in West Africa and the ongoing war in Sudan. However, there are positive signs in some areas. The report shows improvement in infrastructure such as mobile phone access and energy, as well as advances in women's equality. Health, education, and the business environment have also seen progress across the continent. Now we move to other parts of Africa after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. European Union election observers have flagged irregularities in Mozambique election as the country awaits the announcement of official results this week amidst protests by opposition supporters and the recent killings of two prominent opposition figures. The EU observer mission said some of its 119 election observers deployed to the country had been prevented from observing tabulation processes in some district provinces and at the national level. The mission also noted unjustified alteration of election results at some polling stations. The EU AOM, that's Election Observer Mission, has continued to observe the electoral process, although EU observers were prevented from observing tabulation processes in some districts and provinces as well as at the national level. Chief Observer Laura Ballarin said in a statement that the EOM has noted irregularities during counting and unjustified alteration of election results at police station and district level. Ballarin called on electoral bodies in the country to conduct the tabulation process transparently to ensure the credibility of the election results. Away from that, human-caused climate change increased in the intensity of seasonal rain across Niger and across Niger, and Lake Chad basins this year, resulting in devastating flooding, a team of international scientists said a study published on Wednesday. Researchers at the World Weather Attribution Initiative said floods in Chad, Cameroon, Nigeria, and Sudan led to the loss of more than 2,000 lives and displaced millions of people. The rain also overwhelmed dams in Nigeria and Sudan. The WWA found that this year's rain were 5 to 20% more intense across Niger, Niger and the Lake Chad basins, which border four of the 5 countries. Scientists said this spell of intense stormy rainfall have become the new normal because of climate change and will occur annually if global warming continues. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Nigerians in 9 states spent a total of 212.27 billion naira on liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas, according to a new report by the National Bureau of Statistics on Wednesday. The 2024 Nigerian Residential Energy Demand Side Survey report highlights the evolving energy consumption patterns in Nigeria, shedding light on the reliance on LPG, firewood, charcoal, and other energy sources for cooking and heating. The survey assessed energy consumption pattern across 7,706 households in 9 states, offering insight into the use of LPG, fuel, electricity, and other energy sources. According to the report, the survey covered Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, Ekiti, Enugu, Kano, Kwara, Oyo, Plateau, and Sokoto State, ensuring broad representation across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. Still on business news, the International Monetary Fund has reported that the Naira is showing signs of stabilization, attributing this to recent interest rate hikes and effort by the Central Bank of Nigeria to address foreign exchange backlogs. The IMF disclosed this in its latest Global Financial Stability Report on Wednesday. According to the fund, the CBN's intervention to clear overdue foreign exchange obligations have played a critical role in stabilizing the currency. However, the latest data from the FMDQ exchange indicates that the Naira fell slightly from 1,653.2% dollar on Tuesday, October 22, 2024, to 1,654 naira point per dollar on Wednesday, October 23, 2024, representing a marginal depreciation of 0.6%. Foreign exchange turnover also dropped significantly by 22.41%, declining from 176.15 million US dollars on Tuesday to 136 to 68 million US dollars on Wednesday. The IMF assessment comes amidst ongoing efforts by Nigerian authorities to stabilize the foreign exchange market and improve liquidity. Still to come is sport. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Poker.
Welcome back now to Sport News. The Nigerian National League has agreed to make an adjustment to the draw for the 2024-2025 campaign. The adjustment draws is scheduled to take place at Remo Styles Stadium, Ikene. The draw ceremony will hold on Tuesday, October 29, 2024. The draw adjustment, which will be based on regional grouping, is deliberately arranged to enable the club's head coaches and media managers to represent their various clubs at the pre-season seminar. The seminar will run from Monday, October 28th to Wednesday, October 30th at the same venue. The new NLL season will commence on Saturday, November 30th. Still on sport news, where we'll have you know that Bayer Leverkusen were ahead to an entertaining 1-1 draw at Brest in the Champions League on Wednesday, with Germany startlet Florian Wirtz netting the visitors. A third goal in 3 outings in the competition for Wirtz handed Leverkusen the advantage, but Perez Malud crashed home a volley to level matters in the first period. Both sides went into the match with 100% records from their 2 outings so far in the league phase. Wirtz, 21 years, sent the Bundesliga champions into a 24th-minute lead with an arrowed finish from 20 yards. Wirtz nearly doubled up a 29-minute but could only muster a team effort at a goal after dancing his way through 3 defenders on the edge of the box. And that's your sport news. Now we move to the rest of the news after this break. Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Gabon is set to conduct a referendum on November 16th regarding a proposed new constitution, marking an important move towards restoring the civilian government, as promised by the military junta following a coup, according to the transitional government. The final draft of the new constitution project was made public on Monday, October 21st in Gabon. An inclusive national dialogue is set to convene, bringing together citizens and civil society groups to allow everyone to suggest reforms for the new constitutional framework. The proposed constitution will provide for a structure without a prime minister, featuring a 7-year presidential term that can be renewed once, with only individuals born to be Gabonese parents eligible for the presidency. French will continue to be the official language of Gabon, and there may be a proposal for mandatory military service for all citizens. There will be a focus on safeguarding individual liberties and ensuring the separation of powers to strengthen democracy. At the end of this process, a referendum is planned on the 16th of November to present the draft constitution for public approval. And that's Africa Today. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. We brought to you that Tinubu reshuffles cabinet, reassigns new portfolios to 10 ministers. We also informed you that nearly half of Africa's population faces worsening governance, says a report. And we also brought to you that scientists say climate change has worsened deadly flooding in Africa. And on sport, NNL makes adjustment to draw for new season.